The book of Second John is one of the shortest letters in the New Testament, written by the Apostle John to a chosen lady and her children. It emphasizes the importance of walking in truth, love, and obedience to God's commandments, while being vigilant against false teachers who deny the true doctrine of Christ. This letter is both pastoral and protective, urging believers to stay faithful to what they have been taught. So, background: Apostle John, the same author of Gospel of John, first and third John. Here, the audience, the chosen lady and her children. This could refer to a specific Christian woman and her family, or symbolically to a local church and its member. Likely written around 85 to 95 AD, near the end of John's life. The purpose was to encourage believers to remain faithful to the truth of Christ, to walk in love, and to avoid false teachers who might lead them astray. So, Second John centers on the interplay of truth and love and how both are essential to Christian life and the doctrine. The letter can be divided into three main sections. First six verses talk about encouragement to walk in truth and love. Next, 4 or 5 verses warning against false teachers, and then closing and personal greetings, 12th and 13th verses. So, introduction and greeting: John opens by expressing his love for the recipients in the truth of Christ. He emphasizes the connection between truth, love, and grace, all of which come from God. So, the third verse of this first chapter 1: there's grace, mercy, and peace from God the Father and from Jesus Christ. The Father's Son will be with us in truth and love. Now he talks about walking in truth and obedience. John rejoices to see the recipients walking in the truth of the gospel. He urges them to continue obeying God's commandments, particularly the command to love one another. The sixth verse, you can see this: and this is love, that we walk in obedience to his commandments. As you have heard from the beginning, his command is that you walk in love. Now, seventh verse: recognize the deceivers. John warns against false teachers who deny that Jesus came in the flesh, identifying them as deceivers and antichrists. Seventh verse, you can see this: many deceivers who do not acknowledge Jesus Christ as coming in the flesh. They have gone out into the world. Any such person is the deceiver and the antichrist. So, eighth and ninth verses of this chapter, John urges believers to remain vigilant, guarding against losing their reward by straying away from Christ's teaching. He stresses that abiding in the doctrine of Christ is essential to fellowship with God. The ninth verse: anyone who runs ahead and does not continue in the teaching of Christ does not have God. Whoever continues in the teaching has both Father and the Son. Now, avoid supporting false teacher. So, 10th and 11th verses, John gives practical advice. Do not welcome or offer hospitality to anyone who spreads false teachings, as doing so many enable their deceitful mission. This verse will read it: if anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not take them into your house or welcome them. Anyone who welcomes them shares in their wicked work. Now, closing and personal greetings, 12th and 13th verse, John concludes by expressing his desire to visit the recipients in person, to share joy and encouragement. He also sends greetings from the children of your chosen sister, likely referring to another church or family of believers. So key verse here, I have much to write to you, but I do not want to use paper and ink. Instead, I hope to visit you and talk with you face to face so that our joy may be complete, as mentioned in the 12th verse. So, key themes in this short book, in the second chapter, first one is truth and love. Truth and love, they are inseparable in the Christian life. Believers must walk in truth by obeying God's commandments and expressing love toward others. And second theme is the doctrine of Christ. Faithfulness to the teaching of Christ is really essential. Believers must guard against anyone who denies Jesus' incarnation or his divinity. And then third one is warning against false teachers. False teachers basically pose a serious threat to the church. Believers are called to be discerning and not to support or enable their work. Now, fourth theme in this second John is unity in fellowship. So, John's greeting and closing, they highlight the relational nature of Christian faith, emphasizing unity and joy in fellowship. So, why second John matters today? Second John, John's brief, yet profound message remains very relevant in a world where truth and doctrine are often compromised. It reminds believers to stay grounded in the truth of Christ, to discern and resist false teachings, and to live out love in obedience, and to be vigilant in partnerships. So Christians are warned against unwittingly supporting those who distort the gospel. So Second John is a timely exhortation for Christians to balance love and truth, standing firm in the faith while extending God's love to others. God bless you.